Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flourgoldwizards channel. I'm Jason, part-time gold prospector based in Wisconsin. And behind me is Rigby. He's the world's most famous gold sniffing hound. Where he lays down or digs, I dig. We're on a body of water right here with excellent gold. We just had a flood 2 days ago. The water was up 5 feet taller than it is right now. It was really something to see. All the banks and everything, all the grass is laid down flat, but the water has dropped down considerably. And that brings in new gold, new deposits, and a new great attitude. So let's grab a pan. We're gonna test around a little bit and see what we can find out of this flood gold. Now the water's still a little bit higher than it usually is when I come down here and do some digging. Now I like to work right along this bank, right here. We've always gotten really good gold out of here and some nice big pieces. But as we've been digging there, it's been getting deeper, and it's only accentuated by the recent floods here. I'll try to take a little hike over there, and if I fall in, no laughing. All right, wish me luck. Not too bad. Oh, I can work with that for sure. All right, I'm gonna grab me a pan of this stuff here. Here's a spot right there. I can feel a lot of gravels, a lot of clay down in there. Oh yeah, it's got nice gray clay in there, but not that real dense stuff. So I think we're gonna be in business right off the bat. Let me fill up a pan of this and we'll see what's in it. All right, let's take a little look at this material here. Now this is the gray clay. There's a couple of different kinds of clay in this body of water. You get some really white stuff, you get a lot of red, and this gray right here. And sometimes it leans into the blacker colors, but it all holds gold, just some more than others. So let's pan this one out. Get some of those larger cobbles like that one out of there. Make sure you get all that clay off. Work that stuff around, because those big clay balls, if left in your pan, will attach to your gold and it'll be long gone. And it gives you an opportunity to look for some cool rocks. But I got a good feeling about this pan for sure. So let's see what happens. And Rigby did it again. He was over there lapping up water before, and that's where I went in the water to take this here test pan. He's the world's best gold sniffing hound. Look at this here, out of that pan. Look at these pieces right here. Let's see if I can get this camera to work in the woods today. There we go. Well, kinda. Look at those. Those are nice pieces. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. But those are nice long wiry pieces, and we're excited about it. I'm gonna get my classifier going here. We're gonna fill up a great big pail and set up a sluice up there somewhere. See if we can't rustle up an ounce of gold today. And to make today's event go a little bit faster, we have Wesley along today. So we're gonna tag team the classifier and shoveling duties. We're gonna fill up a big tub I've got right over Wes's shoulder over there. Set up a dam right up in there. That's right. We're gonna show you guys some awesome Wisconsin gold. Now after these floods, you can locate little pockets of strictly gravels where the muck and all the grass and all that stuff has been blown off of them. Now we walked in about 10 feet that way offshore, and we're walking, you can feel it. It's all mushy and mucky, and then it just night and day dead stop right here. It starts gravels, and that's where I took that first pan from. So without further ado, we're gonna do it. Sounds good. Now we've got a bucket over there of some of the most beautiful, beautiful pay I've ever seen, or in this spot right here for sure. But the creek, still being a little bit high, needs a little bit of tuning up. Now this spot right here is about the shallowest there is anywhere down there for quite a ways and that way. So I'm gonna start gathering some of these rocks here, and I see them scattered all over the place. So we're gonna try to use the existing shallow area to build a little stoppage of the water, I guess, a partial dam, just enough where it bulges up the water, where I can get a little bit of pitch from here to down there. So let's begin. What a beautiful day. All right, now we've got our so-called dam up and running here. It's basically just a U shape, and I'm using the shore as one of the U's. It's less rocks to haul, and it seems to work pretty good. Now just putting this in here, that water is coming down and hitting this little thing, and it's bulging up just a little bit because it can't go back upstream, and it bulges up and comes over the top of the rocks I have here. It gives me a little bit of pitch, not exactly what I'm looking for as far as how this mat is going to run 100% efficiently, but I think it'll be good enough for today. And you know, the slower you run it, as long as those things aren't plugging up, your gold is still going to have an opportunity to drop in there somewhere. So here's our big fat pail of juicy stuff right here. I'll throw it on there and see what it looks like. Now, although the cells are dancing around in there, it's still not ideal. So I might do a little bit more adjusting with this dam. I'm going to get 4 or 5 scoops put on there. This material is really good, and as you saw, it's got a lot of gold in it. Let me see what it does when the heavier material starts to collect in there. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so far, so iffy. Give me just a minute. Now, besides Rigby, my #1 mining team partner and mine boss, we have another pal that we always go mining with. His name is Ryan. He's always late, but today he was on time. There he is. Say hi, Ryan. How late are you? 2 days?
Yeah.
2 days late. We've been here for 3 days, and he finally showed up today. I tell you, he loves his beauty sleep. And you never know who you're going to run into around here. Right there's Carl Madley. He's got a YouTube channel too. He's from Wisconsin. He mines serious business right there. Serious business. What are you gonna get today? Half ounce?
No. My duck says no.
Yeah, we've been pushing it pretty hard. So today might be a ice cream and PBR day. Yeah.
Right.
All right, slight change of plans. All right, now the water was down, but everybody down there is building dams. I made the water up here deeper. And our sluice just wasn't working. We tried shifting it over to the other side over there, and it's just not happening here. But we can go sit over in the shade over there and just do some panning. And we can actually dang near sit down over there and do it. Now we'll just go over here and classify more buckets of material. Me and Wesley are gonna tag team some pans and dump them in that tub over there. All our concentrates, and we do have a few already, and it's really good. And mostly because it's Africa hot out here right now. It is 2017.4 degrees. Holy wow. Isn't that right, Rigby?
That's right.
So I'll just grab this here bucket, and we'll head her across the creek here. It's slippery, it's mucky, and if you can see down in there a little bit, it's treacherous walking. Let me tell you, really got to take your time. Although I wouldn't mind falling in right now because it's so darn hot. That'll just be less panning time I get, so no deal. All right, I'll just take and set that sucker right there, and we'll draw out of it with our scoop. and do some panning in the shade. What do I think of that?
Jesus. That's a big old thing of wire here.
Yep. No wonder I'm tripping all over the place here. We got tangled up in a big string of barbed wire. God darn it, we'll get that out of here. Ooh-wee. Not cool. All right, let's do some panning. Barbed wire. This material's already classified. Throw it in your pan. Kick back up against the curb here and pan to your heart's content. If you know how to pan, this is basically 100% efficient right here. I don't care what kind of sluice you're running, you're always going to lose a little bit of gold just because. Out here in the field, not everything is scientific. Like you might be able to set it up in your shop, and even then you're probably going to lose a little bit. But if you take your time panning and you know what you're doing, this is the real way to go, right here. So I'll do a couple of pans here. I'll show you what kind of gold we're getting panning out of this classified material. We're gonna sit here and bake. Yep. Now here's a real treat right here. We have Kurt. He's the president of the GPAA chapter in Toma, correct? Or Wausau, that's right. And we have his son. Now yesterday at the bonfire, all the guys were arguing about who had to drive the furthest. Well, Wes here is from Kentucky. We have some Ohio boys. Well, this guy here, Jeff, he's got you all beat. Let's talk to Jeff for a minute. Hey Jeff, where are you coming from?
China.
China.
Really young China.
He has the world's record for longest drive to one of my Patreon outings. Well, I thank you for coming, sir.
You're most welcome,
Yep.
Jason.
Have you ever panned gold here before?
Here, no. China, yes, with no prospects, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I panned with my dad a while.
Sure.
A few times,
Well,
yeah.
guess what? It's nothing but nuggets here.
I love nuggets.
We all do. Now, when you're just digging out of the creek side here, you're shoveling in non-classified material. And I doubt that you're getting this much of the smaller material in one of those shovelfuls over there. And we did pretty darn well, as you saw, with nice pieces. So working with this classified material, it only goes to say that you would have more pieces of gold. Yeah or no? So let me get this big old steamer here panned down and I'll show you. Ahem. Picker alert. That's right. We got a picker out of that right there. Look at that beautiful gold. Those are all nice pieces, but that one there, I can feel it, I can roll it around, and most importantly, I can pick it up. See if I can get that focus in there one time. Yeah. But nonetheless, there it is. Bonafide picker. Awesome. Now those big flat flakes like that, I call them pickers. A lot of people call them pokers and pushers or whatnot. But we're in Wisconsin, gall darn it, that's a boulder. And we could have lost that on the sluice running it not quite scientific like, a little too slow or a little too fast, and that baby might have been long gone. So I'm glad we started panning. And it's cool. Very next pan, another big old chunk of gold. Look at there. Ooh-wee, I can't wait to get this bucket done. We're putting all our concentrates in this here tub. And I'm going to do a quick pan of all of it and see what kind of gold we're looking at here. Oh man, it's going to be good. All right, so together with panning and sluicing, we only ran about 4 gallons out of that pail right there. But on a really good spot in this location, you can do pretty darn good. Now, we had a picker there. We had a nice big flat flake along with it, along with a lot of little bitty pieces of wire gold. But it's going to be exceptional for a 4-gallon pail. I've got all those concentrates right here. We've been panning and dumping it right in this tub. Well, now I have it in a pan. This is going to be my safety catch right here. And I'm going to pan through this and see how remarkable 4 gallons of material can be right here. Now this stuff is incredibly heavy. You see that red, black hue to that stuff? A lot of that is ironstone and, you know, some other stuff, vitamins and minerals. So you kind of got to take your time. It really does force you to take your time going through it, because those big flat flakes will have a harder time sinking through all this stuff here versus a pan of light material mixed with this stuff. So it's going to take me a little while. It's still got all kinds of black sand in it along with those little heavy pebbles. So yeah, good luck, me. 14 hours later. That, ladies and gentlemen, is from 1 4-gallon pail. I mean, come on, that's California good right there. Look at those pieces of gold. Holy wow. Oh my goodness, there's tons and tons of gold in there. So here's what we're gonna do. We have a GPAA meeting we got to get to in about an hour and 40 minutes, maybe less. We're gonna fill up one more pail and pan the heck out of it and see if we can't double that, or maybe even triple it. I want another picker. It's been quite a while, but that one there, well, that might count for 2 pickers. Now, just because we're in a hurry doesn't mean we're going to neglect the mine boss up here. He directs all the traffic, tells us where to dig. He needs a little snack. He's a hard-working miner, I tell you what. We're going to have a big old chunk of smoked salami today, some sausage. Yeah, he likes that. He needs that. He's a hard-working miner. I don't know if you watch that guy, Glacial Gold Hunter, at all, but he's always forgetting something. Just makes me laugh every time, especially a scooper. I mean, who forgets their scooper? Where is that dang beer? Where's my beer? Well, never mind. You know, we all forget something. All right, back to the grind. Well, we got another pail here, and I fell in. I'm not gonna lie, it felt good. It's still Africa hot out here, let me tell you. So we're just scooping out of this pail right here. Throw a couple scoops in there, and it pans through fairly quickly. I'll throw maybe 2 or 3 on there, and that's how we've been doing it. So it's gonna take me, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. We'll clean this one up, put it all together, and see what we get. You know, you don't always have to have your stuff work perfectly out on the creek to be successful, or just to have a good time. And we are definitely having a good time. That's what it's all about. So if the sluice wasn't going to be functional today, you still have panning. We're both sitting down. You know, we're 900 years old each, and we're getting it done. So let's clean this stuff up here. Maybe we'll get another picker, maybe we won't. But we're going to find out together. Back in a bit. All right, we are still panning away, but almost done. And I was getting worried here. I was finding lots of little teeny weeny pieces, but no more big ones until now. Look at that big old giant flake right there. Ooh-wee. We are gonna have quite the snuffer dump for sure. Let me slide that around. It's really flat. I can just barely feel it. I definitely cannot pick it up. Well, I'm gonna call it a flicker. Prepare to be amazed. And here it is, our sluice runs for today and our panning sessions right here all boiled down into one. It is, I do believe this might be the best I've ever done for that amount of material. And look at that thing right there. That is a chunk of gold floating. Look at that. Oh, it was a bunch of pieces. It looked like one big giant piece. I just did it with my finger and it just dispersed into all that there. But look at this. Look at those big old pieces right there. That is absolutely fantastic, insane, crazy. I'm so glad we came back to this spot. Well, it just goes to show you. You come down here with a solid plan and it gets destroyed. Well, not destroyed. We still got to run the sluice a little bit. The water's just a little bit too high to do it effectively, but panning is quite effective as well. And it proves it right over there. That is a monster pile of gold for the material we ran. I hope you guys enjoyed today. We sure enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along. Until the next episode, like, share, subscribe. Please do leave a comment. It helps build our channel. Check out our Patreon page in the description box down below. Flourgoldwizards and Wesley, out.
Hey, I would just like to say thank you to Jason. I've had a great weekend. Came all the way from Kentucky, learned how to mine some gold. Never done it before, and he showed me an exceptional level of northern hospitality. And Jason, I thank you for that.
You got it.